to have Benjamin Ferencz here tonight. It's really, he's a very, very special person, as we all know, but who knew how cute he is? He's just adorable. And we owe this wonderful, wonderful speaker to one of his very good friends, Ferencz Snyder, and I think she deserves a round of applause. Thank you. She has a few words to say.
I want to thank everybody for being here and coming early. It's my honor to welcome the world-renowned Ben Ferencz. Ben's name was unfamiliar to me until upon watching the documentary called Prosecuting Evil. That took place way back in the spring. And I thought about Ben over and over and over again after watching the film. I was so emotionally moved that I was determined to find this man, to offer thanks for his historic contribution. He was the chief prosecutor of Nazi criminals at Nuremberg. These Nazis were responsible for the murder of over 6 million Jews and others. Ben's introduction in the beginning of the film tells his story best. However, I would like to tell you how it came to pass that we are so fortunate to have Ben here today to address us. I learned from the film that he lived in Delaire Beach. And when I called his home, I was delighted that he took the call. I really didn't expect that. I found myself thanking and congratulating him and asking him if he would come and speak at Delaire, all in one sentence. I did not want to lose his interest. I didn't want him to hang up on me. I was determined to land this guy. I brought him flowers on Father's Day. And I asked him if I could call him my friend, and he said yes. Was I subconsciously bringing in flowers because I wanted to bribe him? I didn't think so. However, maybe I did. I called him again in a few weeks, and I was really very concerned about the fact that I might be annoying him. I asked him again, would you come and address the people at Delaire? We're neighbors, we're not very far, and we'd be most appreciative to hear you. And he said yes. Imagine how happy I was. When you hear Ben's story, I'm sure you will feel as I do, that Ben may have had to stand on books to reach the podium in Nuremberg, but he is a giant of a man among men. Let's watch the documentary and then hear from Ben.
They had murdered over 1 million people, including hundreds of thousands of children in cold blood.
The Einsatzgruppen were killing squads.
Their assignment was murder every single Jewish man, woman, and child they could lay their hands on. I'd never tried a case. I'd never been in a criminal court in my life. I was 27 years old.
He was in front of the world. He wasn't just in front of these judges, making a case as a prosecutor.
I can only imagine what he must have felt like. This little Jewish guy who had his parents not left would have been one of those gassed and killed.
The impact of war itself affected me so that I wanted to stop war making.
My dad is a guy who's been traumatized by what he saw, smelled, heard, and felt.
The stench in the air, the human beings behaving like rats in the garbage pile, digging, crawling for a bite to eat. I can't go on describing it.
This has fueled a nuclear reactor inside this man.
He laid out a legal process, taking us into the 21st century.
At such a young age, to have witnessed what he had witnessed and turn that into a positive contribution for the better of humanity.
We are talking about a man whose career spans 7 decades.
These million people were murdered because they didn't share the race, the religion, or the ideology of the executioners. It's a crime against humanity, and I called it a crime against humanity. If we could establish a principle of law which would protect humanity in the future, then this trial would be significant. The purpose of my accepting speeches like this is to inform as many people as possible that it can be done. All those pictures you saw of me here, I have never represented anybody except myself. Nobody has ever paid me a penny for any of that. I have been accepted to do the opening statements at big conferences to urge the people to adopt an international criminal court. They finally have a court, and they invite me to do the closing statement or the opening statement in their first case. It's the closing statement in their first case. What you saw here in the Nuremberg trials, I was 27, and the opening lines there, which don't appear on this recording really was, it is with sorrow and with hope that we here disclose the murder of over 1 million innocent people. And the sorrow was of the victims. Nothing could be done for them. The hope was that we wouldn't do it again. And we are doing it again. But it's the truth. Whatever party you have or belong in, the truth is the world is in great danger still today. It's a much greater danger than we were in World War II, the effects of which you saw, some of them. Because of our capacity to kill has grown much faster than our capacity to help people. Instead of spending your money on nuclear and cyberspace weapons, which we are producing today, which have the capacity and have had for at least about 10 years when I first was informed of these dead secret negotiations, we have the capacity to eliminate the electrical grid on planet Earth. And the general who was telling me about that secretly, now it's become public knowledge in all the scientific journals, so we can talk about it. I said, how long would it take to kill everybody? And he said, well, I don't know of any studies that have been made, but it would probably depend upon the amount of water they had. If they had water, they could probably live for about a week or two. That was at least 10 or 15 years ago. And the public is not generally informed about that. So we're in much greater danger today than we were when we ended World War II. And there are no young people here, but it's their lives that I'm concerned about. Not mine, I've had my turn, and more so, you've seen it here. But I am concerned for the future. And so I've come to meetings like this, even though I'm getting me pretty tired, and in the hope that you will do something about it. And that means changing the hearts and minds, just to recognize that law is better than war. Isn't that simple? Law is better than war. Just think about it. And then create the conditions which make war impossible. Just as we would do now, we say rape all around the world, for the benefit of women who are here, is a horrible crime, deserves equal punishment. There's never been a war without rape, never. I've seen it in going back to history. So why can't we take the concept of war instead of glorifying it as we do now with parades and marches and holidays, celebrating 4th of July, flying the flag, point to how horrible it has been in the past, as it is, and you can see it here, you can see it in any book or anything you study. War is no longer a usable, tenable instrument settling anything. And to turn the minds around from what has been glorified for centuries takes more than one human life, and maybe more than some of the lives of you here, but for your grandchildren, for the benefit of your children and your grandchildren, they've got to start changing their thinking, or this planet is going to be like all the other lifeless planets that are hurtling through the universe. So I'm here hoping with this terrifying message to say, well, okay, what does it really take? It takes, first of all, a change of heart and mind to recognize that compromise is not cowardice. It requires compassion, understanding for the other fellow's point of view. The principal causes of war, my studies have shown, are first of all, religion. Secondly, nationalism. And third, adequate living circumstances, economy. If we, instead of saying, we're the only ones who have the greatest religion, our God is the only true God, and anybody else will kill him. Sounds horrible to you? That has been the historical practice with the Catholic Crusades and with every religion. They have the only true God. Well, then change it. Give the other fellow a break. Let you have your God if you want it. You don't have to take my God if you don't want it. But we're not going to kill you for it. And the same thing with our country is the greatest. America is the greatest. We will remain the greatest if we have to kill you all to prove that we're the greatest. What kind of a policy is that? It's just plain stupidity. Somebody here is my thumb thrilling me. Let's get carried away.
Questions.
Okay. He says there's time for questions. I think you've already got the point. I've been reasonable. All right, we'll take a few questions. Each going up. Who's really got a questions? Okay? You got the point. I'm mad as hell because of our stupidity. Anybody else have another question? I'll make it turn it off. Okay, good. You pick the one, 21 to add.
Kids over there.
Where's the one? Stand up so I can see you. Or you can see me. Okay. Speak up. So
I don't have a question, but I have to thank you.
You want to thank me?
As a survivor's daughter, my father was a survivor of Auschwitz, and he was liberated by the American soldiers. I just have to thank you so much for all you did.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else have something?
Thank you very much. I hope you'll carry on.
One thing is like, my father went to Council House. The most important thing in his life, he went to City College. You don't have to. You know, it's still
I would love you to give this speech to 150 radical members of Islam. You would love to kill all of them. Give them a copy of it. That was the meeting. He passes all his resolutions. more.